mean, Sharjah is not known for their pitches. The ground is slightly smaller, but I think the pitch has played very well, and you've seen some entertaining, high-scoring games.
Okay, before we go to the matches, the first match that happened today between Lahore Qalandars and Quetta Gladiators, what do you make of Sarfaraz? I mean, what an amazing knock that was, and much needed from the captain.
Ali, I was mentioning it to you yesterday that it's very important not only for Quetta Gladiators, for the Pakistan cricket team, that their captain finds form. He's actually been under a lot of stick over the past few months. He hasn't performing well with the bat, but today just shows glimpses of what a talented, what an incredible player he is. Under the cosh, under the pump, he played extremely well and got his team over the line and keeping their unbeaten run going.
Absolutely. It's so useful to have a wicket-keeper batsman like this who can come in the middle and plays these little nudges for ones and twos, and then when it comes to the big stage, and he can hit boundaries too, that you saw in the last ball that he did.
The best thing about him why he is such a good mix for T20 cricket is because he selects the right balls to actually hit boundaries, the bad balls he hit for boundaries, and then the other balls which are the Yorkers, the balls which are slightly difficult to pick, the off-cutters, he actually nudges them for one. So he keeps on rotating the strike. It's not like there are many dots while he's batting. So he's a very, fine batsman. He's gone through a difficult run, but now we can see that he's now over that lean period.
Yeah, one must feel sad for David Bees. I mean, in this space of 24 hours, I mean, one day he was a hero, the other day he couldn't do it.
They say what goes around comes around. I mean, talk about karma. I mean, yesterday he was the hero when Lahore Qalandars actually won the nail-biting finish against Multan Sultans, and today it was the other way around. That's what T20 cricket is about. I mean, this is the beauty of T20 cricket, and we saw today that, while David Weese played extremely well, Lahore Qalandars fought very hard. One must give a lot of credit to Quetta Gladiators because they showed their nerve and won on the last ball.
Okay, let's start off with the first match. Where do you think Lahore Qalandars went wrong? I mean, they were pretty satisfied with the score, as AB mentioned at the toss, that it's a slow wicket and we'll be happy with 150 to 160. So they almost got it there, but they couldn't win it at the end.
Yeah, they really couldn't win it. And the reason is because the likes of Fakhr didn't actually play very well today. He didn't get a big score today. AB, the worrying sign is I think the main worrying sign is AB de Villiers. I mean, we saw he got injured and he couldn't come in the second innings too. Other than that, there was no real supporting role. There was nobody who actually really supported him. Whilst they tried very hard, 145, about 148, 137 is not actually a very good total on this ground.
Islamabad showed that today.
Yes, Islamabad showed that today. They chased down a total with such ease, with 4 overs to spare. So if Lahore Qalandars really wanted to win this match, they needed to get about 160 plus, which they fell short of.
Right. If you have any questions for us down here in the studio, we have these numbers going right below on the screen. You can contact us if you have any questions for me and Ali. We'll be waiting for your calls. So coming back to that, what's happening with Lahore Qalandars? I mean, so many injuries. AB de Villiers couldn't come to the field today. What's happening with them?
Well, they're all falling like 9 pins. If you see, last week we saw what happened. Hafiz actually fractured his thumb. Brendan Taylor had to be assisted off the ground. He had to be helped off the ground. Today, AB de Villiers couldn't come in the second half. These are really worrying signs for Lahore Qalandars.
Yeah, so what if AB de Villiers gets unfit and gets out of the PSL, and then Lahore Qalandars would be in trouble then for captaincy spot?
Yeah, they're going to have serious trouble because now with Hafiz gone, with AB de Villiers gone, they don't have any player who's a natural captain over there. You see, you handing over the captaincy to Fakhr Zaman, who has no real captaincy skills over there. I think this could be a very alarming sign for Lahore Qalandars. And in this mid-season the trade-off period, they have to get a good player. They probably might have to get a potential player who they could make as their captain, because I really can't see Fakhr Zaman captaining this team and motivating this team the same way probably Hafiz or even this AB de Villiers would have been able to do.
Right, absolutely. So let's start off with the teams that were played today. Few changes made by Lahore Qalandars, few forced changes also. Brendan Taylor getting unfit. The goal has to come in to make it up for the wicket-keeper. What do you think about Salman Butt? They're wasting him at number 3. Why not maybe instead play somebody like Agha Salman who can be a very useful batsman at number 3?
Well, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Why is Salman Butt playing? If you're going to play him as an opener, why are you playing him at number 3? He actually utilizes and wastes a lot of balls. His strike rate is very poor. He's batting at 100 today. A strike rate of 100 today. He didn't even really do much. Why are you wasting Agha Salman? Agha Salman is such a talented player. He hits the ball very well. He hits the long ball. So you're just wasting talent over here. So you need to probably give him a rest and try someone else out. I know he's been traded off for Hafiz, and he's probably a controversial pick over there, and probably will get a lot of viewers. But look, they've only gotten 4 points out of a possible 10 right now. Lahore Qalandars need to, really need to have their work cut out if they are to bring somebody else.
Even they tried to bring in Yasir Shah today because they thought the ball was going to spin and it was a slow wicket. So they brought in Yasir Shah, but that didn't affect much.
Yeah, it backfired. He didn't really do much today. I mean, it was probably Sandeep Lamachani who actually bowled well too.
So you're happy with the changes that made, or you would probably want somebody else to come and fill that space?
No, I would actually suggest that they have no choice right now, Lahore Qalandars. I mean, they've already been forced with Hafiz, and with Hafiz already gone, Brendan Taylor already gone. You had to bring in somebody in for Brendan Taylor, and they were forced with these changes. But bringing Yasir Shah and Sandeep Lamachani, two leg spinners. I mean, one leg spinner who's very suited to the red ball format, for Test cricket. The other one is for T20 one-day cricket. Why play two leg spinners?
Actually, I thought it was not that of a bad decision, but the only problem was that Yasir Shah was bowling very fast. He was bowling flat and fast, and for a leg spinner, you cannot bowl flat and fast on such wickets. I mean, he should learn from Lamachani, who was giving air and bowling a little slower than them. That got him the wickets.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense because we know what a great drifter he is, and the way how much air he likes to give, especially in Test cricket. So he's a bit flat today, and he wasn't getting his variations right, due to which he was hit for plenty. So I mean, Yasir Shah has to learn plenty, has to learn learn a lot, and learn from his mistakes going into the second half of the tournament. Otherwise, he probably might be sitting on the bench.
Because I personally thought that it was a good team today from Lahore Qalandars, bringing in Corey Anderson and playing David Beezer. But what about Devicic? You have to get him in because he's the current form player. He's scoring runs. He was the top scorer last year for Lahore Qalandars. Sitting out, the left-hander is sitting out. It must be sad for him, and you have to find a way to get him inside the team.
No, it just doesn't make any sense. Devicic was one of the best batsmen last year. Why are you playing him at the bottom, or why are you not playing him at all? It just doesn't make any sense. Some of these decisions are mind-boggling. I just don't seem to understand where the team management is going over there. Some are enforced changes, but you have to get Devicic, and you have to open him probably with Fakhar Zaman. You need a great start. You can't find a better combination than Devicic and Fakhar Zaman.
Absolutely. It looks like that Lahore Qalandars along with Multan Sultan and the Karachi Kings are struggling to find that combination, to find that right combination for these matches.
Yeah, they have
three of the teams.
Yeah, but you can't really say too much Lahore Qalandars. I mean, they've been through a lot of the past 1 week. They have 3 serious injuries, and 3 to their most important players over there. So these are enforced changes. Lahore Qalandars are the sort of team, this year we see a different Lahore Qalandars. They've taken 2 matches to the last ball. So I mean, they've come with a plan this time. They've just been so unlucky with these injuries. I do think that in this mid-season trade-off period, they'll get a couple of good players in, and they will make a comeback in the second half.
Absolutely. So coming to Quetta Gladiators now, you're happy with one change they made? They brought in Anwar Ali. Probably they were thinking that they will strengthen their batting a bit?
No, I think Anwar Ali was an important pick. It wasn't making any sense to me why he wasn't playing in the first place. Look, this is the same person who almost got them to the final last year. He hit about 23 runs, 22 runs if you remember correctly. And he's the sort of player who can actually bowls very well. He bowls, he bowls good short balls. He bowls with a lot of variations. He bowls good bounces, and then he hits the ball very hard. If he gets going, he can get you some very important late order runs. So I think it was a very good move by Sarfraz, and he probably should stick in Anwar Ali than the person he actually replaced.
Right. Talking about the first match, let's see the cards of the top performers for the first match today. Yeah, that's it. Baby de Villiers, no surprises here. What do you make of him? I mean, he's playing that sheet anchor role for the team, and he's not like he is the flourish of A.B. de Villiers. He's taking his time. He's spending his time. 45 runs of 40 balls. Look, only 2 fours, no 6s.
Yeah, you could see that he was struggling to actually hit the ball, the long ball today.
Yeah, that's Sohail Akhtar. I mean, he's a surprise pick for me. I mean, they're persistent with him. He's opening the side in place of Salman Butt is there, but they're persistent with Sohail Akhtar. What do you think?
I think the reason they're doing it is they actually believe in this youngster. They think he can hit the ball very well, and he actually complements Fakhar Zaman very well.
He looked good today with for his 29 runs of 21 balls with 1 4 and 3 huge 6s.
No, he looked very good today. In fact, he was middling the ball very well.
Another exciting prospect. I'm really a huge fan of Ghulam Mudassir. I mean, he bowled 4 overs, 21 runs for 3 wickets. I think he bowled really well today.
I think he was the pick of the bowlers. He actually really
season captain, Sohail Tanvir. I mean, he's he's such a professional. I mean, wherever he goes, he plays so many leagues. What do you make of him?
He's an experienced campaigner. He knows the T20 format inside out. He did very well to get his 2 wickets.
Sarfaraz Ahmed, the captain, you see, he scored 52 crucial runs and that 6 off the last ball to win the match. He must be satisfied and a happy captain today.
To be honest, Ali, nothing pleases me most in this tournament than seeing Sarfaraz score runs.
He just only took 36 balls with 4 fours and 1 crucial 6.
And shows the maturity. He shepherded in the tail very well and he hit that magnificent 6. Just shows what important player he is.
Yes, Ahsan Ali, another fine youngster. He's playing in place of Ahmed Shahzad. It must be a pressure time for him playing for Ahmed Shahzad.
Yeah, well, Ahmed Shahzad, he looked at completely in his first match. He didn't perform well at all. Ahsan Ali has taken the opportunity with both his hands and he played it magnificently.
He scored 40 runs of 29 balls with 2 fours and 2 good 6s.
Yeah, he was brilliant today. You could say that he was not only rotating strike but hit 2 fours and 2 6s. He's cemented his position at the top, and we probably won't be seeing Ahmed Shahzad in this tournament.
I mean, it must be very disheartening for Ahmed Shahzad. I mean, with all his experience, with all his scores behind him, and not being selected by his franchise. I mean, it must be very disheartening.
It must be very disheartening. Look, this is one person who's been out of the Pakistan team for a while. He played for Multan Sultans last year. He got into the Quetta Gladiators, and they picked him in the last position, probably as a supplementary player, hoping that he probably perform. He got off to a nightmare start, again in the first match against, and got off to a golden duck against Hassan Ali's beautiful delivery. After that, he hasn't really found the form. He hasn't been allowed to come into the team because Hassan Ali has looked magnificent up top, and it's unfortunate. You don't take your opportunities, the youngsters will come in and they'll probably pitch in with the runs.
Right. Okay. Let's talk about the first match again. And there was this time when Sarfaraz and Nawaz were playing. There was the crucial middle overs, and they were just hitting and running. I mean, as if they're going to run for every ball. What might they be thinking, that they're going to run on every ball?
No, that's the best thing about Sarfaraz Ahmed. Look, because he knows when it's a sluggish wicket, when it's difficult to hit the ball, at least you're rotating the strike. At least they were
hitting in the hands of the fielders and running. I mean, that rotation should make sense also.
It should make sense, and yes, it was very risky too. There are a couple of run-out opportunities, but listen, they rode their luck over there. Whilst they weren't hitting the boundaries, they rode their luck, and they didn't get bogged down. They hit an important 50, which actually laid the platform for Quetta Gladiators too. And had that partnership not been going, then probably Lahore Qalandars would have gotten their third.
Yeah, they had their chances there. Any one out of those 7 miss hits that they did, any one could have won them the match. That would have taken the wicket of Sarfaraz.
Yeah, I mean, Sarfaraz did ride his luck today. Whilst he looked magnificent towards the end, I mean, he took his opportunities, and it just shows that you get a little bit of luck, you can actually ride that all the way and get a big score.
Right. Okay. I just like to talk about Sandeep Lamachan. I mean, the first game he didn't do that. He did well after the first over, but now he seems like settling in, like understanding the wicket, understanding the ground and dimensions of the cricket.
Yeah, he's understanding it very well, and he's throwing the ball with a lot of air. He's got a good mystery ball. He's got a good ball wrong on too. He's very difficult to pick. So I thought Quetta Gladiators did very well with him. And going into the second half of the tournament, he's going to be a very dangerous asset for the Lahore Qalandars. And if Lahore Qalandars want to go through to the knockout phase for the first time in PSL history, then Lamachan is going to have a huge say.
All right, we have our first caller of the show. It's Khurram Shahzad from Rawalpindi. Hello, Khurram.
Hello, hi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I do. This is Khurram Shahzad from Pindi. I had a question from Ali Bhai. Can I speak to him?
Please. Hello, Khurram.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, please. What's your question?
Basically, I'm a big supporter of Lahore Qalandars. I've been watching them match early today. It was quite disappointing that they lost today. The question I had was about the opening pair. They were trying Sohail as opening batsman. Do you think there should be some changes, like maybe bringing Bessish on top of the order, or maybe Salman Butt? Should there be any changes?
Right, we got your question. We'll just discuss about it. What he actually meant was the one we were talking about, to bring in Devicic. But the problem here is that if you bring in Devicic, you have to drop either David Biza or Corey Anderson. So because he's a foreign player, or Lamachan. So that's a little tricky. That would be, right?
It's a tricky situation. But if I was to be given that opportunity, I would probably drop Corey Anderson. The reason being is because Devicic is so important. We need the right player to actually open with Fakhar Zaman. I think Devicic would be very good at number 3 or even to open. I think the thing is we have to sit down, and Lahore Qalandars have to get their homework right, and to get the right balance they have to drop Salman Butt. He's looked really off color in the past 2 games, and I honestly feel that if they were to fit in deficit, it should be in place of Corey Anderson, and to either open him or start him or make him play at number 3.
Absolutely, and Sohail Akhtar, I mean, he's fine. He's doing those 30s and 35s and 20s, but he's not really playing any big inning that Lahore Qalandars needs at the top of the order.
Yeah, he's not getting but he's getting those starts. At least he's getting those starts, and he's doing okay with Fakhar Zaman too. I mean, you can have him at number 3, but you shouldn't drop the guy, because he hasn't like hit any single-digit scores right now. So he's done okay till now, but I still would put Deficit at number 2 at the top, because you need your best batsman to play up top, and with AB de Villiers probably not playing in this tournament, if he's not going to play, you'll definitely need to bring.
We hope not that nothing happens to AB de Villiers, because he's so important for Pakistan Super League and for Lahore Qalandars eventually, and we wish that he comes to Pakistan to play the remaining matches.
Yeah, the best thing about this tournament is that the most exciting spectacle is the fact that AB de Villiers is one of the key foreign players who's coming to Pakistan. It would be a massive blow for both Lahore Qalandars and for the PSL if AB de Villiers did not come. So fingers crossed. Let's hope he's okay and he plays in the next match.
Yes, and he's taking these matches so seriously. I mean, I could see today, even when he was out of the field, but he was there on the boundary line talking to David Visa, and that shows that he is into these matches and he's taking it seriously, and he wants to win, because he has a reputation too. He wouldn't want his team, wherever he's playing for, to lose like anything.
Yeah, it means a lot to him. I mean, he's taking this tournament very seriously. He's taking it similar to when he was captain of South Africa. He knows how much this means to him, the Lahore Qalandars franchise, to the owner, and to PSL. Lahore Qalandars really need to get in a knockout stage. Everybody wants them to do well, and if they are going to make it to the knockout round, they need AB de Villiers to play all the way.
Absolutely, and I don't want Rana Fawad to go out and be such an emotional man. We don't want him to go, Lahore Qalandars to go out.
No, we definitely don't want Lahore.
They're such an exciting team,
There's an exciting team. They add so much color, so much fervor, so much flavor to the tournament. So, I mean, losing the likes of AB de Villiers would be a massive blow. And if they do lose him, I really can't see them going into the knockout round, because he's such an integral part of that team.
Yes, and of course the captaincy factor that you said, that's going to be huge if they lose AB de Villiers.
If they use AB de Villiers, they've got no natural captain over there. And if you have no natural captain in the T20 format, those critical decisions, the bowling changes, the fielding places, the batting order, who to bring in to bowl, that's going to be given to a player of the novice, given to this sort of player like a Fakhar Zaman, and Fakhar Zaman is not a natural leader. So let's hope that AB de Villiers recovers right in time for the next set of matches in Dubai.
Right. Okay. Another exciting thing we saw today was okay. We have this. Let's go to the ground and see what we have it.
I think bowling is fine, but batting थोड़ा सा करिए.
क्यों मुश्किलात आप इनके लिए बना रहे हैं?
सबसे पहले जो हमने पावर प्ले में आउट किए थे, उसकी वजह से जैसा पिच था, हमने रन्स बहुत अच्छे कंटेन कर लिए थे. उसके बाद रॉन्ग्स, आपको पता है जब वो रन्स करेगा तो एक साइड पे वो मैच ले जाता है, तो वो आज खेला और हम एक साइड पे मैच हो गए.
आपकी शर्ट के कॉलर तो है नहीं ज्यादा, नहीं तो कॉलर खड़े करने का आज मौका था. कप्तानी की और जबरदस्त, और मैच भी जीते आप.
भाई यही अल्लाह ताला का शुक्र अदा करता हूँ कि पहला मैच कप्तानी में खेला और वो जीते. तो मेरे ख्याल से सब लड़कों ने अपनी जान मारी और मैच जीते.
कितने दूर हैं आप फॉर्म से, जिसको कहते हैं ना परफेक्ट फॉर्म, परफेक्ट कॉम्बिनेशन? क्योंकि आपने चेंजेस की, मिडिल ऑर्डर जो है वो आपको थोड़ी सी प्रॉब्लम्स दे रहा है. कहाँ पे देख रहे हैं आप इस टीम को आगे चलते हुए? बाबर आजम बहाने ढूंढते रन आउट होने के, उनको एक तो रन आउट नहीं होना है, इसलिए कि वो रन आउट होंगे तो प्रेशर और पड़ जाएगा.
आई थिंक स्टेबिलिटी ऊपर से ही चाहिए. पहले 6 ओवर अगर अच्छे खेले तो उसके बाद आज थोड़ा सा जो नीचे उन्होंने खेला बहुत अच्छा मोमेंटम मिल गया था, लेकिन ऊपर से थोड़ी स्टेबिलिटी चाहिए. और होपफुली कि नेक्स्ट मैचेस में हम ऐसे ही करें. और इट्स नॉट द एंड ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. अभी 6 मैचेस बाकी हैं. जैसी मोमेंटम मिले, आप 3-4 मैच खेलो और जीतो तो मोमेंटम आपका एंड ऑफ द टूर्नामेंट अच्छा होना चाहिए.
आप नया बॉल नहीं आजकल करें, कोई कॉम्बिनेशन में फर्क हुआ हुआ है? कोई खास वजह इस चीज की, स्ट्रेटेजी की?
नहीं, आज आमिर और आमिर यामीन से करवाया था, क्योंकि वो दोनों अच्छी करे थे. मैंने कहा लियोन चांस ले लूँ जो अंदर आता है उनका, लेकिन यही था, वो खेला ही बहुत अच्छा. और बीच में भी फिर ओवर करने थे. आई थिंक वो जो लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिनर हमारा बहुत ज़बरदस्त बॉलर है. सो आपको एक चीज़ तो अच्छी मिल रही है कि आपके यंग लड़के थोड़ा सा अच्छा परफॉर्म करें.
इस्लामाबाद यूनाइटेड के पास जबरदस्त बॉलिंग कॉम्बिनेशन है. फ्रॉम कैप्टनसी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू शादाब, कितना आसान है आपके लिए कप्तानी करना है ऐसी फील्डिंग साइड, बॉलिंग साइड को, क्योंकि ऑप्शंस आपके पास बेइंतहा हैं?
जी बिल्कुल है, जैसे हमारे बॉलर बहुत एक्सपीरियंस है, रोमान है, वो डेथ में बहुत अच्छी बॉलिंग करता है, फ़हीम है, पानिल है, तो आज जैसे पानिल को सिर्फ एक ही ओवर मिला क्योंकि हमारे कम्बिनेशन इतना अच्छा बना हुआ है कि इतनी ज़रूरत भी नहीं पड़ती, जैसी वो बॉलिंग करती है तो ईजी होता है कि वो एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर है।
अच्छा, आखिरी सवाल, इंटरनेशनल डगआउट को आज आपने कप्तानी की, कितना बड़ा चैलेंज है ये एक नए लड़के के लिए?
मेरे ख्याल से क्योंकि मैं फील्ड में ऐसे ही रहता हूँ तो मुझे इतना मसला नहीं होता, क्योंकि मैं अगर इंटरनेशनल मैच भी खेल रहा हूँ तो सैफी भाई से बात होती रहती है, तो इतना मुझे मसला नहीं।
हमें भी कोई मसला नहीं, आपको बहुत बहुत मुबारक हो एंड ऑल द बेस्ट। इमाद, अभी
Right, you heard our two captains there. It must be a good thing that Shadab captaining Islamabad United.
You could see over there that, you know, the best thing about Shadab Khan, he comes out as a natural leader. You know, leadership skills come naturally to him over there. He just playing his natural game. He didn't show any signs of burden of being the captain over there. It just shows that he's playing. Let's not forget, he's only 20 years old.
Yeah.
He's playing with a lot of maturity. He's captaining with a lot of maturities, and with a lot of international players over there. It probably, he must have had butterflies in his stomach, but I think he did a brilliant job over there.
They have a great bunch of international players who are always very supportive. I mean, look at Ranchi, look at Sumit Patel. I mean, they're always in the game and, you know, contributing somehow.
It's not only the international players, but the team management owned by the complete hierarchy. You have Ali Naqvi, his wife over there. I mean, the Islamabad franchise has a lot of stability. That's why they won 2 championships, along with the management, along with Hassan Cheema and Rehan ul Haq, you know, amalgamating very well with the team. They have a very good environment over there. And when you have a very stable, good environment and a good balanced team, then, you know, there's nobody who really can stop you.
Right. Before we come to the second match, I just have a little point to talk with you. What about
Brilliant today,
Nawaz and Ehsan?
Yeah, Ehsan earlier, he gave a great start to them, getting 40 very important runs. For once, Shane Watson didn't perform well today. Neither did Devon Smith. You know, Russo had got 50 important runs. They kept on rotating the strike, and, you know, they targeted the bad balls. And by the time Nawaz departed, it was left to the captain. And what a superb way to finish the match, along with at the end.
Okay, let's talk a little about the second match that was played. Shadab winning the toss and bowling first. I mean, that looks like the plan of the captains, that you win the toss and ball first in Sharjah.
Well, look, really depends on the conditions too. I mean, we've seen that the ball has come onto the bat in the second half too. It doesn't skid that much. Probably in the first half it becomes very difficult. And let's not forget the dew comes into in the second innings too. You know, it gets later into the night. There's a lot of dew on the ground, so it becomes very difficult to grip the ball where the batsman can take full advantage. And at the end, look, this score was very, very low. Karachi, we have to talk about Karachi Kings batting lineup. Playing 4 openers at top, it just doesn't make sense. Colin Ingram is over there, Colin Munro is over there, Babar Azam is over there, Livingston, Dunk. We saw him right now play for Melbourne Stars in the final. As an opener over there. What is he doing at number 6? So, I mean, Karachi, the Kings are completely at sea over there. If they don't fix their order, they don't fix their batting, then they're going to struggle.
We'll talk about this in a bit. Let's see the top performers for the second match today. Who performed today. That's Ben Dunk. He played a crucial inning of 49 runs. What do you have to make of him? He just come from Australia and performing right away. 32 balls for his 49 runs with 3 fours and 2 sixes.
Well, he was only a positive side for Karachi Kings. I mean, he made 49 very important runs. Had he not been there, they probably wouldn't have gotten even 100.
Absolutely. Yes, Amar, I mean, I've always spoken very high of him. He's a good prospect. I think Pakistan is losing out on him not playing in Pakistan's side. Look at him. He played with flourish, with big heart, 35 runs of 19 balls, 3 fours and 2 crucial sixes. At crucial time, that partnership with Ben Dunk.
Well, he's a very important player for Pakistan.
You know, he's a seasoned campaigner. He's playing for Pakistan regularly on both formats, one day and T20. And today again, he proved with 4 overs, 26 runs and 3 wickets.
He broke the batting. He broke the batting lineup of the Karachi Kings team. He bowled extremely well.
He was on a hat-trick at them. And yes, Luke Ronchi, you know, 67 runs. He gives such an impact player. I mean, top of the order, he comes and smacks the ball and, you know, make quick runs. Like he did 35 balls for 67 runs. 8 fours and 6 sixes.
He's showing the same glimpses of form which he showed last year and won the tournament.
Yes, and Sumit Patel, you know, I think he is the most key player in Islamabad United. He can ball and he can bat like this. 45 quick runs of 30 balls with 6 fours and 1 6.
He's the most versatile player for them because, you know, along with the left-handed shots balls, he can actually hit you.
Yes, Imad Wasim, I thought he should have opened the bowling today. He got himself in the 4th over. By that time, they already had off to a flying start. I mean, he bowled 4 overs for 27, 2 wickets, but I think he should have opened the bowling today.
Well, that's what he's been doing for Pakistan cricket team.
Yeah.
He should have probably opened and put pressure on the Pakistani, on the this Islamabad United batsmen. I mean, look, the other bowlers were getting smacked around for fun. Mohammad Amir hit for like 13 per over. Even Amir Yamin had a really bad day today. Yeah. It was only Imad who actually contained the Islamabad United. He was only
but
the
it was
right
not
spot.
a matter of containing today. They wanted quick wickets up the order. So he should have opened the bowling, I believe.
He should have opened the bowling because he's the sort of player who can actually skid the ball, get the ball quickly on through to the batsman, bowling wicket to wicket, actually get wickets on this tacky surface of Sharjah. But I think he made a really bad decision because had he probably opened, he could have actually caused a lot of problems to the Islamabad United team. And had they gotten Ronki early, it could have been a different story.
Absolutely. So, what do you make of it? What should Karachi Kings do now? I mean, they're at the bottom of the table. Things are not looking good for them. No combination, no middle order batting. What should they do?
Well, they need to do something about their batting lineup. They need to do something about their top order. Try to find the right balance. I think they're the most disoriented team of all the teams.
Absolutely.
We've seen Lahore Qalandars over the past 4 seasons. They've learned from their mistakes. They have a more balanced team. I mean, you look at Karachi Kings. We were speaking this off air. They have like 4 openers of batting over there. How can you have 4 openers? You have to have a designated player for their respective spot.
And I'm surprised they have Iftikhar Ahmed on the bench, and they're not even trying. Instead of he's a middle order specialist, right? And they're playing they're playing 5 openers, but not one middle order specialist.
It makes no sense over there. Other than Babar Azam, everybody's looking at sea. And Babar Azam himself is looking a bit confused with those 2 run-outs. I mean, he also needs to run quickly between the wickets. So it's important to bring Iftikhar Ahmed and probably give one of these specialist openers, some time on the bench.
Are you happy with their bowling lineup, the way the Shinwari is bowling?
I think Shinwari had an off day today. I mean,
it's been quite a few days, quite a few off days.
Got hit around. I mean, they got smacked around silly today. So they need to do something about their bowling because Amir Yamin, whilst he's very good, Shinwari and Amir, I think together they don't bowl very well in tandem together, even for Pakistan cricket team too. So I mean, the Karachi team management have a lot of thinking to do in the second half of the tournament.
It's very surprising having Wasim Akram there and our head coach there also. I mean, he has impressed me by far. He's impressed me the most in the emerging players. What do you think?
No, I think he's been brilliant.
He's bowling quick and he's bowling a good line.
He's bowling a very good line, and the thing about him is he's actually very difficult to hit. It's also a toss-up between him and Rizwan Hussain because it's only these are the 2 emerging players which Islamabad United have. And I think whilst Rizwan has been given his opportunity, Mohammad Musa is more of a natural player for them because he can actually give them come in that bowling lineup. He can bowl very good lines. He's a good right-handed bowler, and
he brings in that flair, bowling, running fast and running quick and bowling those bouncers also with those good yorkers. And I mean, it's good to have such bowler in the team.
Yeah, it's important, especially hits the ball very hard too, and he actually surprises the batsman too. So if he continues the form, he's probably going to keep Rizwan Hussain out and probably.
Well, why not to play two emerging players? Because I played with Rizwan. I think he's a very young, a great prospect for Pakistan. I think you should play him in place of Saibzada Farhan.
You can play him, but I think the only reason why Saibzada Farhan is playing because he has experience. He's played for Pakistan too, and he's just one good inning from cementing his position. So it's a real toss-up between the 2. But I would actually still play Saibzada Farhan because he knows how to bat with Luke Ronki.
And the trouble that Islamabad that I can see is in future that seeing is Mohammad Sami. How do you see him coming back to the team in place of who? I mean, Roman Reis is fit, he's bowling well, he bowled really well today. Then we have emerging Musa with him, Fahim Ashraf is there. It's very difficult for him to make that place in the team.
It's a very nice headache to have for the captain, for the team.
He himself is the captain, so headache is for himself.
Yeah, it's for himself too, and also for the team. Where do you slot him in? But you've got to have Mohammad Sami. He bowled a brilliant hat-trick yesterday. I mean, he's the one who actually wrapped up and won them the game yesterday. So I think that he'll fit in somewhere. Probably in place of Roman Reis, probably in place of somebody else. But he's the captain of them. He's the natural leader of the team, and you can't depend so much on Shadab because Shadab's still a youngster. And Sami, with his wealth of experience in the important matches going forward, he's going to be more important to Islamabad United.
Yeah, the good thing about Islamabad United was that they're not scared of giving the youngsters the chances. Even they could have played Sami and not let Shadab captain, or they rested in Bear also to play even Parliament. So that's a good thing about that's the only franchise I believe who gives most chances to the youngsters.
No, and the best thing about it is that rotating the international players, like you mentioned, Ian Bell, who played very well yesterday. He got them those important runs yesterday.
Both of them, Sami even.
Even Sami got those important wickets. Look, Sami is an experienced captain. He needed that rest today. I mean, he needed that rest today going because he can actually freshen up and actually prepare himself for the second half of the tournament. And with Phil Salt also on the bench too. I mean, Ian Bell played well yesterday. Parnell came in. I think Islamabad United are now finding the right balance. They're finding, they've finely tuned now after a mixed few games. They've gone on to 6 points. And look, this is that point of the tournament. Traditionally and historically, Islamabad United, once they find that form, their momentum, they are very difficult to beat.
Yeah, it's like their pattern, I think, from last 2 to 3 years. They start up slow, they lose a couple of matches in the beginning, and then when they find the right combination, they become unbeatable.
Yeah, they become very dangerous because they're a team which thrives on momentum, thrives on confidence too. And you can see that all these players they're thriving on confidence. They're playing, feeding off each other. I mean, they're looking fabulous now. I mean, and it's important that all their big game players play, like the likes of Ronki fires, Shadab fires, Fahim fires. If all these players fire, then all the other players, naturally, the youngsters actually play very well.
Right. So let's talk about Babar Azam a bit. I mean, he's got this habit of getting run-outs these days. I mean, you saw for Pakistan, even in the PSL, he's run himself out quite a few times now.
Yeah,
what's wrong with him?
I think he's a bit confused right now, and there's a lot of burden on him. Why? Because look, all these openers for Karachi Kings are actually being played to actually support him. He's the best T20 batsman in the world, and there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders because naturally, if he doesn't perform well, the team isn't going to perform well. So I think he's a bit confused in his head. He actually just needs to make sure that he has a bit of clarity in his head, runs well between the wickets, so he doesn't gift his way. I mean, getting run out is just silly. You need, if you are going to get out to a quick, good delivery. Don't just get yourself run out and cause problems for the team.
Absolutely. And Colin Munro have joined Karachi Kings. Didn't make much of the difference today. Got out on the first ball.
Yeah, he didn't. He got out for a golden duck. I mean, you'd think that after what he did to India in the T20 series, right now hitting a magnificent 70, he would probably do well in this tournament. He had a bit of a nightmare start today, but I just think that probably tomorrow he's actually going to find form, and against the likes of, I believe they're playing Quetta Gladiators tomorrow. Karachi Kings really need to
that must be a tough game for them.
That's going to be a tough game against the unbeatable Quetta Gladiators, who won 8 points right now. So Karachi Kings really need to turn their fortunes quickly, because if they don't win that game, I'm telling you, they're going to be rooted to the bottom of the table.
I think that they should try their level best, play their best combination tomorrow.
Yeah, their best combination, like you mentioned before, Ali, they've got to get Iftikhar Ahmed over there. You need a specialist middle order player, and you need to make sure that you have the specialist players for the right positions too, because if you don't, they're going to suffer similar problems. Right. And against a formidable Quetta Gladiators, they've got their backs against the wall.
Right, we have another caller online, Musharraf Zahoor from Rawalpindi. Hello Musharraf, can you hear us?
Yes. I just want... Yeah, hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I just want to ask you one question. Why Quetta Gladiator is performing well? And please give your opinion over it might be a prediction like thing. If you can tell us about which team is more favorite in your view, which will be going to the final.
Right, we'll answer your question. He said, which will be the team that will be favored, and what's the reason that Quetta Gladiators are doing so well?
I think it's very simple, and that is, it comes down to Sarfraz's leadership. I mean, Sarfraz is given the right freedom. He knows the best. The best thing is they've got the best side balance. I know I keep on repeating it, but if you don't have the right balance in T20 cricket, in your T20 match, then you're not going to do well. At this moment, Quetta Gladiators have players who are thriving off each other. You have Shane Watson, he didn't perform well today. You have the likes of Ehsan Anis, who we were talking about, who performed well. Ehsan Ali, I apologize. And then Sarfraz is over there. You have, and Riley Russo. You have a good blend of experienced international players and experienced Pakistani players. We talk about Sohail Tanveer over there. Anwar Ali is also now an experienced campaigner over there. At Sarfraz over there, and a youngster, I think, in Ghulam Mudassar. I'm very impressed by Ghulam Mudassar with the maturity he's actually bowling. So I think it's because of the right blend of players, experienced and inexperienced, and captained by a very good captain in the form of Sarfraz Ahmed. And who am I going to see in the final? If you were to ask me today, I would say it would be Quetta Gladiators and Zalmi, purely based on it would be Quetta Gladiators against Islamabad United, just because Islamabad United are the sort of team who are really now taking off.
And they have the best Pakistan youngsters in their side too. I mean, 4 to 5 of them play for Pakistan national team for Islamabad United.
Ali, if you look at the past 3 years, Islamabad United have contributed about 8 players who have actually played for the Pakistan cricket team. That's amazing. And the thing about them is that their core is based around Pakistani players and superstars. If those Pakistani players play well and because they're very familiar to these conditions, then they look like a very formidable team who can be unbeaten.
Right. Another question that I would put off for you is, what if Shane Watson and Darren Smith, they don't travel to Pakistan? Do you see them winning the final or even going to the final?
I think Darren Smith's going to come.
Yeah.
But
in what sense? Because he's so important at the top of the order. He plays to the spinners very well. He plays to fast bowlers very well. He builds the inning. You know, he can hit whenever he wants. He can hit the big 6 also. So missing out on Shane Watson, would you think that would hurt Quetta Gladiators?
It will hurt them. It will hurt them because Shane Watson still is the owner of the orange cap. He is the highest run getter in this tournament, and if you don't go take him to Pakistan, then we're going to have similar circumstances as to what happened in 2017.
Will they still be favoured then?
Probably not. I mean, I just felt that Shane Watson is so important. Then probably the pendulum swings towards Zalmi. But the fact that Quetta Gladiators are doing so well over there, that one of their important players is performing, I still think that Quetta Gladiators just might be favourites because of the experience and because they're being captained by Sarfraz Ahmed. I keep on stressing about Sarfraz Ahmed's captaincy because he knows this team inside out. He really wants to win this tournament, and it means a lot to him. And if he performs and his team performs like this, even without Shane Watson, I do think that they could carry that favourite tag to Pakistan.
And it's so important for him that the number he bats on, he comes on to number 4 and 5 that we talked earlier, and that gives such a balance to the team that having Sarfraz in the middle till the last over, everyone can play around him. The only concern, another concern I see him is the late middle order hitting batsmen. They have Mohammad Nawaz and Anwar Ali, but they have not come to the party yet. I mean, not such big hitting.
Yeah, no real big hitting today. But I thought Nawaz looked okay today. I mean, he did hit a couple of lofty blows, but look, it was Anwar Ali's first game of the tournament. We know what he's capable of. He likes playing in Pakistan. If he can actually bowl very well and get some runs, I think he'll cement his position. And Sarfraz Ahmed, along with Mohammad Nawaz and Anwar Ali, I think are completely fine, considering you've got a wealth of experience up top. Russo's over there,
and not to forget Umar Akmal.
How have we forgotten Umar Akmal? I was thinking that somebody is missing. It's Umar Akmal. Umar Akmal,
he has a point to prove.
He has a point to prove. He did play well today. He made 9 runs, but look, we've seen him how amazing he was in the first game against Peshawar Zalmi, and if he can play with that sort of tenacity, he can graft those runs too. This is the reason why I think Quetta Gladiators are favourites, because they've got amazing experience. You've got amazing experienced campaigners. I want to add Umar Akmal to that list too, because he's been there for ages. So I mean, I really can't see anybody at this moment of time other than Islamabad United challenging Quetta Gladiators.
Do you see Umar Akmal in the World Cup playing 11? That's a tricky question.
That's a very, very good question. And if you were to ask me, I'd say yes. And the reason I would take him is because, look, he has wealth of experience. He's been out of the team. He has a point to prove. And if you were to ask me, I still think he's better than Hussain Talat and Asif Ali. Asif Ali is a good hitter, but Hussain Talat is really disappointing me. 2 ducks in the past few matches. I mean, he's not been very good in South Africa too. He doesn't rotate the ball very well. Umar Akmal, if he actually has a cool head on his shoulders, he could be so important for Pakistan going into that World Cup.
Right, we wish him best of luck with that. That's all we have for today. Inshallah, till next time, we'll see you in the next web. Take care till then.
लगा दो जोर, मचा दो शोर कि दुनिया हिल जुल जाए। हाथ ऊपर करके बोलो ये खेल ही मन को भाए। दिल की पुकार है, यही प्यार है, अब झूम के बोलो तुम। जज्बा अंगार है, तैयार है, ललकार के बोलो तुम। चल जोश दिखा दे तू।